RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's up? All right. I feel like I forgot something, but I don't know what it is. You know, when you get that feeling. Nice to see you, everybody. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out. Unapologetic liberal talk. I wasn't sure if I was going to have a show tonight. Look at me. I'm a little tired. Look at my eyes. I'm tired. I just want to chill, but there's so much going on, and I figured I wasn't able to have a show last night, and yeah, well, we'll have our show tomorrow, of course, our regular Friday show, so don't worry about that. But we'll do a show tonight, a little. If it has to be short, we'll see how it goes. You know how I feel. Sometimes I'll say this, and then next thing you know, it's 3 hours later. So, I'm just trying to do something. This computer. There's a computer over here that's giving me some trouble. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out. The chat room is already hopping and popping. Nice to see you. If you are on any other channel, if you want to hang out in the greatest chat room in American history, come on over to youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster. Yeah, we have the Francis and Tara Jr. are asleep. Let's hope they stay that way. Francis had to have an operation on, it's not bad though. I think I told you he had a big scab on his shoulder, and it wasn't, I don't know, it's going out for a biopsy, so hopefully it's nothing. I think it's nothing, but because it was just like a scab, I don't know where he got it, unless he had a fight with Boo Boo, and that's what the vet. But Boo Boo didn't have any teeth. He didn't have any top teeth, unless, I don't know, it happened before. And he got, I don't know, I was petting him and I felt it. I didn't notice it in the beginning. And then it was like, okay, I put the hood or whatever, the cone on him. And he, was healing. It was about the size of a quarter. I think I told you guys about it. And then one morning I woke up and he had taken the cone off, and he had really done a number on the wound, and it was really bad. It was like twice the size. It was bigger than a $50, I should say. So I had to take him in to the vet. And it was gross. He was bleeding. It was bad. He really hurt himself. So, and the vet had to remove it. So he, how cats are, they have very loose skin. You could, so he just cut it out and stitched his skin together. But it's a very large incision. So if you see it, you might be like, oh my God. But it's just his skin. So he's not doing too bad. But you can't see it. It's on the other side. We'll see if he wakes up. It is a little alarming when you see it. It's like, holy shit. Just be forewarned if he wakes up. I see Tara Jr. stirring now. Let's hope everybody chills. Okay, let's see. Where do I begin? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. I haven't checked the patron page. I don't know if there are any new patrons. I haven't checked it. Usually I'll get an alert if somebody becomes a patron, but thankfully they don't tell me when people quit the patron. Otherwise I'd probably be very depressed. But I haven't looked at it, and because I have too much anxiety right now, so I don't really want to stir up my anxiety. I don't know. I'm in avoidance mode. But if you have become a patron recently, thank you. I'll get to you. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Please, if you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And if you are a patron and a supporter of the show, remember what I tell you. Do me a favor. If you want one of these mugs, I would like to send you one. So you got to contact me, though, on on my email, on the Tarabuster Media. What is it? Yeah, tarabustermedia@gmail.com. And because I don't have your address, that's the way Patreon is. It doesn't give you addresses, so it just gives you names. I'm just checking, actually, while I'm up here. Yeah, tarabustermedia@gmail.com. And thank you, Haiku, for sending me some suggestions about some AI tools that might help with making the shorts and content that I need to help grow the channel. So I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I just perused it. It looked pretty good. So thank you for doing that research. It really helps, and I will get to it. I don't know. I don't know. It's been I don't like I get like seasonal affective disorder. Okay. I don't feel good. I feel a little under the weather. I think I look like, not too good, let's say. And I feel very whatever. And it sucks. The holidays are coming. I'm like in my head. So let's, whatever. I'm just sharing. Thank you for letting me share. And thank you also, Charlie. I want to thank Charlie for his incredible support of the show, and also making Tarabuster a part of your roster at APS Radio News. That helps. That really does help me emotionally, spiritually, and practically too. Thank you, Charlie, because it was your contributions to the show that allowed me to, easily and readily get the new audio interface that I needed, because the other one crapped out. So check out APS Radio News. Charlie is another independent media person who likes, trying to make the world a better place. And we need that, because you know what? Okay, here's the thing. So this morning, as you know, I watch Morning Joe, and they were talking about what we've been talking about, which was kind of driving me crazy a little bit, because they, we've been talking about this forever. Patriotism, reclaiming patriotism, and taking it back, and from the Republicans who really don't deserve it. Patriotism is an action. It's not wearing a shirt with an eagle on it. It's not, wrapping yourself in the flag to show everybody how patriotic you are. It's an action. And you know what? We really need more of the action of patriotism in this country. And it's, and hopefully we won't get there unless we talk about it. Like everything, it begins with a conversation. The American Revolution began in the tea shops with pamphlets where people whispered and began talking about it. Life without a king, a government without a king, and an aristocracy. And I hope that we will finally, have the kind of country that we deserve, where we don't leave people behind. And that's what I was basically screaming at the screen. Like, what? They were talking about patriotism. How come Democrats can't message this? Because they don't listen to freaking Tarabuster. That's why. Because we've been talking about it. When you say leave nobody behind, when Democrats, we don't leave, it's not just that we don't leave people behind on the battlefield. We don't leave people behind on the battlefield of sickness, on the battlefield of education. We are in this together. And what part of E pluribus unum is so confusing? So this is how you would message the things that we actually need as patriotic imperatives. And one of the main things on the top of the list, of course, is universal health care, because it's sickening, literally, figuratively. in every other way. And the fact that we don't have universal health care in this country is a symptom of how broken the country is. And it really is tedious and infuriating to hear for example, Biden talk about how we can do anything. We're Americans. He's always trying to say, get up. Remember when he was during the Democratic nomination process, and it was really getting on my nerves because he was like, get up. We're Americans. Like as if, some old man yelling at us is, that's what we need. We need we need more people yelling at us, right? Hold on a second, because we're Americans. There's nothing we can't do. Nothing except have healthcare as a right of citizenship, not a privilege of wealth. But that's part of the reason why we are so divided, in my opinion. And it's not just my opinion, it's the fucking fact, okay? And because the fact is, as a multiracial democratic republic, we would already have universal health care if not for the racism in this country. And that's really the truth, because it boils down, it is as simple as that. Being incapable of sharing a civilization with a diverse population. And there's a lot of confusion, of course, which is also another reason why we need to have, a set of standards, and we shouldn't have to apologize for it. Like when the Republicans attack not just healthcare, of course they attack that because they're like, bootstraps, skin in the game. Like, fuck you. We got skin in the game, So ridiculous. And there's such a I got mine. There's such a cruelty to everything here that, don't give me a speech about how we're Americans. There's nothing we can't do. Except, but we're so divided. Why are we so divided, I wonder? So stop fucking dividing us. But whatever. Yeah, I wish they would listen to me. Right. So, yeah, and that's how we stop being divided. We don't, in some ways, I'm sounding like John Roberts when he said, the way to stop discriminating on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race, which is such patronizing and, of course, sophomoric. But it's not, divide. How do we stop dividing each other? We stop dividing each other, education as a right of citizenship. Yeah, through higher education. There's nothing more patriotic and more forward thinking, forward looking, or whatever, however you say it or whatever. There's nothing more essential to a nation, to a modern nation, than investing in the fucking future. So, yes, we want to send people to school or to learn a trade or whatever they want to do. And if they want to learn fucking gender studies, we should congratulate each other on having such a society that we have people that not only have to go out and, not everybody's going to be a friggin' businessman, because that, according to Republicans, is like the pinnacle of civilization. If you can be like Trump, right, you can get your daddy and to pay for a sham degree from some highfalutin school that you pay other people to take your tests for you because you're a fucking dullard and all you want is the piece of paper on the wall so you can say, I went to Wharton. And now I'm gonna start a multi-level marketing vitamin scam because you're such a fucking genius, okay? And you're gonna pay top dollar for things at your tacky casino so you can go bankrupt in 2 months in a casino, okay? It's like, come on. But not everybody is gonna be an entrepreneur, right? Which Trump isn't an entrepreneur; he's a parasite. So, but having classes in gender studies, English, whatever, liberal arts, that's something that our ancestors fought, bled, and died to, to give us the freedom to sit down and friggin' contemplate our navels now and then. There's nothing wrong with that. Art, history, whatever it might be. This is, we keep hearing from these filthy fascists how these are unnecessary things. Oh yeah, you went and you had to go and get a gender studies degree. Yeah, because that's how far we've come as a species, as a country. While other countries might be scraping and scratching at the ground because they're trying to just fulfill Maslow's hierarchy of needs every goddamn day, we are so successful here. Some of us, because they want to, we don't have to do things. We don't have to go toil and till the friggin' fields. Some of us go write books. Some sing songs. Some write poems. Some play games for a living. They never question that. Some people act. They pretend to be other people so we can all share in the human experience and learn something about others, perhaps. See the world through other people's eyes. And yeah, some people make a fucking stupid multi-level marketing vitamin scam. Which one of those has more value to society? Somebody with a gender studies degree? I would rather that. I mean, what's so value creating in a goddamn multi-level marketing vitamin scam? Or even, I mean, that's what I hate about Trump too. Speaking of the parasite, because he sucks on every level, but even his businesses, when you think about, I mean, of course he's a dirtbag, but what is he doing? He's exploiting weakness, and he's still doing it. He's taking advantage of people. Going to some casino, some tacky casino. Some people have problems with gambling. So, that's what he's going to do. If he could open a fucking crack spot, he'd do it. If he can open a fentanyl spot, he'd do it. You want to bet? Of course he would. Yeah, some people have 5 cats. I have 4. 4 or 5. That wasn't my life's ambition, but here we are. All right. But, okay, so the last few days have been rather telling, right? Another day in the life of the, I don't know, United States of Serfs and Lords, where we have one party that is a democracy that believes in democracy, still trying to play within the boundaries of and the agreement that we all have. We agree on these certain rules, and then the other party is a fucking clown show, is an embarrassment, is a disgrace. Now I see JD in the chat. Nice to see you, JD. JD is our friend from across the way in England. The lucky bastard lives in a country where people don't go bankrupt when they get sick. Imagine the freedom. And when they have to, I don't know, when they get sick, they don't have to think, like, can I afford this? Can I go to the doctor here? And if they have to go because they're really, can't help it. You're sick. They don't have to look and be like, is this in network or out of network? What's the copay, co-insurance? What's the deductible? Right? Son of a bitch. But anyway, that's freedom, right? Okay, but that's beside the point. But the reason I'm pointing you out, JD, also is I'm not sure if you saw this over in England, if it made news over there, how the filthy fascists here in the American last days of the American Republic, how the Republicans are acting like schoolyard bullies, clowns, morons, ignoramuses, and in fact a grown-ass senator of the United States in a hearing openly challenged a witness who was invited to the hearing. It was a hearing about the state of the working class in America. One of the witnesses, invited to speak before Congress, and this grown-ass senator challenged this man to a fist fight. Okay, that's where we live, JD. If you can even imagine this. It's an embarrassment. I would say, I wish it was an embarrassment of riches, but it's an embarrassment of tedious bitches. Of tedious, little, fragile bitches that we have here. And walking around like adults. They're grown-ass people. This is a grown man. I have the clip here. Let's see. Where the heck is it?
Statistics, all right? Now, let's talk about Mr. O'Brien himself, his behavior. As everybody knows, and it's here in the last time, him and I kind of had a back and forth.
He's such a fragile bitch. Oh, shit. Why is that doing that? Don't tell me. Why is that doing that? Why? Why is this? It's not playing correctly. It's chopped. It's choppity chop. Choppity chop. Don't go chop. Let me see. Hold on. I'm just want to check if that's the video that if it's just that video or if it's every video. Choppity chop. That would suck. Let me see. Hold on. No, it shouldn't be doing that. Does it choppity chop for you? Because if it doesn't, I mean, I could still play it. It's just choppity chop for me. Why am I saying choppity chop? I don't know. Is it choppity? I could try it another way too. I could try playing it off the screen. Hold on, let's see. Maybe it'll work this time.
From statistics, all right? Now, I act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me.
Oh, okay, it's playing
3,
now.
4.
All right, let's start it again.
From statistics, all right? Now, let's talk about Mr. O'Brien himself, his behavior. As everybody knows, and it's here in the last time.
Shit.
Got pretty excited about
It's fucking doing it again.
3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself.
What a
my wife
fragile
was running the office because
boy.
I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours.
I was working. He's always so triggered when anyone challenges him. You know, he could call people whatever he wants to call them, lazy, pull themselves up by their bootstraps, takers, and all this. But of course, he's completely self-made like the rest of them. Meaning, of course, they're full of shit. And of course, when you dig into Mullen's financial history, there's a lot of shadiness there, of course, and he's very triggered by it. It's like Trump. He's another one, a fragile little bitch, and this is what they've learned from their dim leader, from their dumb Führer. They've learned how to be. Well, they've learned. It's not that they've learned how to be fragile bitches, because they've always been that way, but they've learned to let it out. Let the freak flag fly, right? Let the snowflakes fly. Let it out, right? Everything that they say is either a projection or a confession, of course. They always talk about us, we're such snowflakes because we give a shit about somebody else. That's supposed to be the sign of weakness. If you care, the bleeding hearts. Your heart should bleed for others. That's how we were made. We should care about somebody else. You know, you think about all those men who stormed the beaches of Normandy. What were they? They did it for shits and giggles. They put their lives on the line. Some gave their lives to fight fascism, to end the fascist tyranny in Europe, not to establish it here at home. But yeah, that's there's nothing more that's amazing or sacrificial. What's the word? Giving your life so other people can live not under the thumb of tyranny. People you may not even, you'll never meet for generations and generations. So what's the problem with giving a shit about other people? Right? In certain circumstances, Republicans, well, it's only when, they pretend to praise the military. They hate the military too. Only when the military is doing their bidding, that's when they like it. When it's cracking skulls on protesters, on left-wingers, right? On anyone who is pro-democracy, when it's standing in the way of the traitors overturning a free and fair election, then they hate, they hate the police, they hate the, those who wear the uniform. So, yeah, it's all about, the police state. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's see. Hopefully it won't.
These Senate hearings, you know where
It
to
won't
find
pop.
me, any place, any time, cowboy.
Cowboy. I love the way
This is the time, this is the place.
he's reading it.
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Two consenting
fine.
adults.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution every problem?
Believe
No,
that
no,
shit.
sit down.
Oh, you're a clown.
Sit down.
Look at you.
You're a United
his
States
ring
Senator.
off?
Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond, Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it. If
Hold
we
on.
can,
This
no,
is
I
what
have the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your
This
time.
is what he
Can I
said.
respond?
This is
Called
what
to-
he said.
Oh,
That's what he says. This is a time. This is a place. Stand your butt up. You stand your butt up. These fucking people. What is wrong with them? Really? I know what's wrong with them. They are unfit. They're unfit to hold leadership positions in a modern nation. They hate democracy. I've been saying it forever. If you're new to the show, I'll be saying it a lot more because that's the truth. They hate democracy. They're incapable because it takes maturity to function in a democracy. It takes maturity to use your words instead of your fists. That's why they love violence. And they're embarrassed. And conservatives have a long history of this. And we've talked about it before. Throughout history, they have Like when the caning of, I'm trying to remember the guy's name now. Caning of, yeah, that was a conservative. He couldn't take that this abolitionist representative, let me see, the caning of Sumner, is it? Yeah, it's caning of Charles Sumner. He couldn't, so let's see, the caning of Charles Sumner occurred on May 22nd, 1856 in the U.S. Senate chamber when the Representative Preston Brooks, a pro-slavery Democrat from the South, and at that time the Democrats were the racists and the slaveholders. I know it's very hard for Republicans because they're all like, well, Democrats were slaveholders and Republicans freed the slaves. A Republican president freed the slaves when the Republican Party, well, it wasn't the it was the Republican Party that was created as a progressive antidote to the entrenched Democratic Party power structure that was, things have changed since then. If you have to go back to the 1850s to show us how totally not racist you are while you're having dinner with Nazis, I think you may want to look at yourself, but they can't because that also takes a level of maturity that they don't have. And so let's see. He used a walking cane. So Preston Brooks, a pro-slavery Democrat in the South, or from the South, South Carolina, used a walking cane to attack Charles Sumner, an abolitionist from Massachusetts. Oh, another Massachusetts liberal. But that's a conservative. He didn't like the guy's words. And he walked in and he beat this guy. And it wasn't just a little tap on the shoulder. He really seriously hurt this man. And it took him a long time to recover. And when I remember reading about this incident, and it struck me that not much has changed in conservatism, because that's who they are. They are violent. They're sick. They hate democracy. They can't take it. They can't stand it. They can't function in a democracy. They're fragile. They're babies. And tell me if this sounds familiar. When this incident happened, the other guy, what's the guy's name again? Preston Brooks. He became a hero in the South. He became a celebrity. And they sold walking sticks. That became a thing. So these owning other human beings, conservatives would walk around. It was a veiled threat. So they would all show up and walk, wherever they wanted, and in the halls of power, they would show up with walking sticks as a threat, as a veiled threat. And the just average Joe assholes in the South would buy these walking sticks. It became like a, merch, like the stupid red hats or something. That's all. It's the red hats, as we know. It's just the modern, less, stupider looking, fucking brown shirt, that's all. And, it's not designed by Hugo Boss. It's designed by some douchebag, Trump. And some poor Chinese, sucker in a Chinese, sweatshop. So, but that, nothing much has changed. This is who they are. So they don't apologize for this because they sell things. They turn it into a merchandising opportunity and an opportunity to spread more domestic terrorism, because that's what that is. if you show up to public events where you're supposed to be debating and discussing and voting and all these, and the conservatives show up with walking sticks, like, what does that say? This is who they fucking are, man. Right to the bone marrow. They are incapable of functioning in a democracy. That's why they're not meant to be a majority party. They simply can't handle it. So it is a disgrace that Bernie had to break these guys. I mean, the Teamsters, the head of the Teamsters union, whatever their words were on Twitter, who cares? Why are you getting so triggered by this? You see? You rise above. But he takes the bait. He's like Trump. He takes the bait every time. And right before I started the show, I saw that what the asshole, the parasite Trump, he's tweeting or whatever they do on that tacky, soon to be bankrupt, and it is bankrupt in fact, Truth Social. He is going off on Kim Kardashian because she apparently, said not nice things about him in her book. And he's going off on her. I'm reading about this. I'm like, what a pathetic, little, fragile, little nothing he is. What an idiot. Who looks up to that? This is an entire party's. This is a fucking part. I can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm cursing a lot. But this is their standard bearer. This is the Republican Party standard bearer who is on his tacky, another derivative. This is because this is who Trump is. He doesn't have an original bone in his body. He's nothing but a parasite. He is like Jabba the Hutt. He, open his mouth and just pour things into it to fill that gaping black hole of need and greed that will never be satiated. So he never had an original thought. He just takes somebody else's idea. Oh yeah, me too. I'll do that. Oh, they have a multi-level marketing vitamin scam. Yeah. Man, let's do that. Oh, a casino. That's a good idea. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Trump University. Yeah, they're doing all these other online courses. Other people are doing it. Let me do it. He's got nothing. Even all of his children are the same. Oh, they're entrepreneurs. One of the things that really gets on my nerves with the Republicans, that besides everything else, is the delusion, of course. But I'm sure you've seen these memes and whatnot on wherever these traitors gather. They'll say things like, I really appreciate, or I can't remember how they put it. I've seen it different ways, but it's like the man who gave up everything, the rich man who gave up everything. He gave it all up to save us. That's how delusional they are. He gave up his rich lifestyle because he was living in the lap of, this gilded tacky. He took a dump on gilded toilets, for Christ's sake. That's how rich he was. And he gave it all up to save us from what? To save America from decency, from dignity, from maturity, from democracy. He's going to liberate us from all of the decency that we can handle. Unbelievable. That's one of the things that gets me. I just want to vomit. He gave it up. He gave it all up for us, guys. He's like Jesus Christ, who sent his only, or whatever, God sent his son to die. He died for us. I never understood that. What? He died for us? And we can't even have universal health care? What do you mean? How did he die for? That used to confuse me when I was a kid. He died for us? He died for our sins? I used to think like, okay, whatever. Whatevs. But yes, Trump, he gave it all up, guys, for us. For the little guy, the little guy who he never had a second thought for his entire life. This man of the people who cared so much about the little guy that we have actual documented history of his numerous lawsuits trying to evict Social Security recipients in their 80th year from the homes they've lived in for 50 years. Right? We have those. I got clips of that. Him inflicting campaigns of harassment on elderly women in apartments. He wanted them out. They were in rent-controlled apartments, so he wants them out. Can't wait for them to die. He needs that money. He's don't have enough. Never enough for the con man, 'cause he sucks. And I don't know. I mean, you would think that a man of the people would pay people. He would pay those workers living wages. And when he signed contracts with small businessmen who, like the carpenter, who thought he hit the lottery when he got the contract to make cabinets at Trump's tacky hotel. And he was like, wow, this is great. I got this big contract. But, of course, Trump wasn't going to hire some big company to do that because they have lawyers. They have means to fight back. So he hires some local carpenter to do this big bid. And the guy thinks, wow, this is great. And he does a great job because he wants more business. He's just a small businessman with a couple of vans and a couple of guys working for him. And you know what the scumbag Trump does? He stiffs him. He says, I'm not going to pay you what I told you to pay, what I said I was going to pay you. I'll pay you half, if that. Well, we have the guys talking about it, when the scumbag was running to be the pretend president. So the guy went on. He was talking about it, saying like this guy he's a con artist. But then we find out that's how he runs his business. So if you don't pay your bills, you make some money too. So then he says to the carpenter, take me to court. That's how he does it. Because of course the guy's not going to take him to court. He's just one guy making a living, as a contractor. And he doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the resources to spend trying to get this parasite, this scumbag, this rapacious black hole of need to pay him what he owes. To pay him what they agreed on. You think that a guy who is the real man of the people cares so much about the people? He would pay them. There would be some story. Wouldn't there be a story about him doing something decent When we have a story, there's no stories. We have stories about him talking about he wants to grab women by the pussy, how he raped somebody. We got those stories about him cheating on his third trophy wife after she's home recovering from childbirth, cheating on her with a porn star. We got those stories. Paying off a porn star in installments, too. Because he's so rich. He's the thing that used to drive me crazy. The blue-collar billionaire. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. These people are clowns. They're all clowns and frauds. And if you think that Trump, I mean, if you're that dumb and you think that Trump spends 1 second thinking about you and you're a working class dullard, dum-dum, and your real problem is that you're too stupid and too moronic to realize that you're a racist. You think that you're just keeping it real, and you get validated by the likes of Uncle Tim Scott and Uncle Clarence, and they, because that's in order to, Kanye West and other anti-Semites and the like. But that's really what their problem is. So they'll sell their own mother down the river. They'll throw their mother off a cliff to prevent a country having to share with others who are different. They can't take it. That's all. That's really all that it's about. And everybody's been telling them they're under attack. I mean, they're just such easily played cowards, all of them. And this guy to boot, this friggin' Senator Mullen, who votes for these people? If they had the capacity for shame, they'd be ashamed. And just like if Mullen had the capacity for shame, he would resign. He'd realize his limitations. He'd say, I don't belong in Congress. I have too much respect for this country and all those who fought, bled, and died for it. All those men who stormed the beaches of Normandy, who saved this, helped save Europe from fascism. I have a sense of embarrassment just thinking about my behavior. And he would resign. But nobody resigns. They don't resign anymore because they have no boundary. They have no bottom. Their bottom is a trapdoor that keeps tumbling us all down to Dante's Inferno of hell. They just, look at George Santos. That's another reason I wanted to do the show tonight, because that should be fun. He's not resigning either. He wants that $174,000 a year check. Right? Every month he holds on, they're still paying him. This is the most lucrative grift he's ever grifted. He's not letting go until they drag him to jail.
Of course,
and let me show you his hearing, because I want to
Let me
expose
show
this thug
you
to who he is.
Oh,
You're not pointing at me. That's disrespectful.
as if Bernie's going to be like, "Oh, okay, show me. Oh, I see your point. He said mean words to you on Twitter. He said you weren't a self-made man. Oh, whoopee effing doopy. Oh, get up and beat him up in the middle of the Senate." But this is who they are. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, about what they've brought to the table. They don't bring anything. They don't bring universal health care. They don't bring living wages. They don't bring retirement security. They don't bring a living, a decent environment. They don't bring infrastructure. They don't bring anything decent. They bring death, of course. They bring assault weapons, They bring everything that sucks. And they bring screaming matches into the halls of Congress. They bring a mob who defecates and urinates in the halls of Congress. They bring shouting matches, being chased down, yelling at the president during the State of the Union, jumping up on chairs like a couple of fools. That's what they bring. They bring screaming matches in the bathroom. They're such jokes. They bring stalking survivors, young men who survived a school shooting. They bring stalking of this person who's no doubt got PTSD. These people are scum. No offense to scum, because, sometimes you need scum. So, I don't know, do you need scum? I know you need scumbags, yeah. Because where will you put your scum? They have a utilitarian purpose. Oh, this is a time. This is a place. Wow, what a guy. What a dude. What a joke. And he's not embarrassed either. He has been roasted and eviscerated all over social media. I haven't seen, and on, everything else. I haven't seen one good, good job. Good going. I was on his Twitter feed because I want to see what people were saying, and they're like, "I'm from Oklahoma. You're an embarrassment. You're resign," and all this other stuff. And he's not. Of course, he's not going to resign, like I'm saying, but he's not even embarrassed. He keeps doubling down. He's like, he posted a picture of his dumbass self, working out or something. And he's like, ready for my next committee hearing. Clown. Fucking clown. Ready for my next committee hearing. And he's also, he's just not embarrassed. He's not embarrassed. Because he's that horrible. It's like Trump. Is he embarrassed? He can't be, because he's a sociopath. He doesn't have the capacity for embarrassment. We get embarrassed because we're normal. Yeah, the GOP loves their clowns. Jim on the chat says that's it. They really do. Because they hate this country. And it's in direct proportion. Their love of clowns, they'll send as many clowns into the halls of power, but because this is what they have done. I mean, this is the natural byproduct of the denigration, of the devolution, I suppose, of that's the better word, of the Republican Party to the Republican Party. And where did it start? We could say Bush. He was a dumbass. Who was that guy? The one who couldn't spell potato? Dan Quayle. It all got. There were levels, and the Republicans, the real kooks were the outliers, but you had some halfway normal people. I never liked them, but whatever. I keep hearing how halfway normal they are. And we're not, I mean, we're nothing is normal now. And we delude ourselves that it is to our peril, really. That's why I can't stand the corporate media. In fact, listening to that effing Joe Manchin talk about he wants to run for president because Joe Biden's getting too far left. Here's the problem of the corporate media in a nutshell, because he's like, oh, I don't know, I'll do anything to save this country from Trump. Joe Biden is getting too left. And of course, Manchin is from the school of the middle, supposedly. He's not middle, he's a Republican, but he's saying how, everything on the left and the right is crazy. It's all equal, right? It's all equal. One side is defecating in the halls of the Capitol, and the other side is advocating for universal health care. So they're all equal. That's an equal thing. And the moderator interviewing Manchin, because Manchin's like, oh, Joe Biden's getting too left, and if he gets too left, I just might have to jump in and fuck everything up. But there's no question, there's no follow-up. Like, what is too fucking far left? Excuse my language, I gotta stop. I know. I'm tired. But how hard is it to ask? What do you mean? Give me an example. They do that all the time. That's the corporate media in a nutshell. And then let's go to a poll. They should just call it the poll show. The 24-hour poll network. Not the news networks. It's not 24-hour news cycles. It's 24-hour polls. And, what does it take to say, what do you mean? What's too far left? Give me an example. What? You talking about insulin, $15 or $30, whatever they made it, $30 insulin? Is that too far left? Unions? Or you mean his support of unions? Is that what you don't like? What's too far left? Give me an example. Are you talking about the $15 minimum wage that the American people like and appreciate? What are you talking about? So they just say, oh, he just says too far left. And of course he knows that there'll be no follow-up to ask for specifics. And then you have everybody and anybody just putting their own interpretation on it. Oh, too far left. Well, he must be talking about what? Uh-oh. It's saying that ads are going to run on my show right now. What? I just got a pop-up that said ads will run shortly for some viewers. What the hell? I'm going to skip that. I'll skip it. Nobody needs an ad right now. How did that happen? Is that a new thing? Does that happen? Do ads run during the live show? That's weird. All right. Let's get back to this douche.
All right.
I don't care about respecting you at all. I
don't
respect
respect
people that
you at all.
respect. So
All right, hold it. Hold it. No,
You're one of
no,
100 of the most
hold
elite
it,
people
please.
acted.
Please. All right. This is excuse me. This is a hearing to discuss economic issues. All right. If you have questions for Mr. O'Brien or anybody else on what he has said, go for it. But we're not here to talk about fights or anything else.
I'm quoting exactly what he said.
You can say what you want.
It's like a child.
This is your witness.
He did it.
And let me, I'm
Mommy.
exposing him.
You can
as a
talk
person
anything
who
you
he
want.
is. So in
But no
2013,
fight.
I'm exposing
in 2013, O'Brien was suspended by the Teamsters for intimidating your own members.
He looks like an
In
ass.
2014,
Oh, yes,
you
it's
were,
him. You're the one
part of,
standing up and
what
taking
would
off
you
your
say,
ring.
organizing the harassment and intimidation of the Top Shelf crew.
Chef, not chef.
Top Chef, okay. And then, and I think in the reports they said sexual, racist, and homophobic slurs and death threats. 14 tires were sliced, and 5 Teamsters were arrested. And you said, well, I had nothing
What
to do
are
with
you
it. But
talking
however,
about?
in that same statement, you said, but if I get called to testify, I'll plead the fifth. This is the
Like
witness
your-
you brought in here.
Like
in
your
2017,
dim leader
you were
pled the
removed
fifth
as lead
500
negotiator
effing
by then
times?
President Hoffa for UPS for your actions. And then in 22, when
Whatever.
this guy was elected, what he said after he got elected was he wanted to bring
He
a
said
mob
that-
mentality
Oh my
back to the
God!
Teamsters.
So let's
This-
get up and beat his ass right here in the Senate chamber. Let's do it, man. Get him. Get him. Beat him. Beat him down. That's why we elected you, right? Show him what a man you are by acting like a bitch. Excuse me, I know that's kind of misogynist. It is an insult, really, because the real bitches are him. So, women don't behave like this. Not in Congress. You don't see the woman, like, taking off their earrings. Like, let's go. Except, well, actually, excuse me. Not democratic women.
He's your guy.
And
This
you're
is
obviously
your
going to give him a
He-
chance to
he
respond to
can-
your
oh,
questions.
absolutely.
This is your guy, so I can get up and challenge him to a fight. I'm not doing anything wrong. This is your guy. Daddy. He's mean. He's the one. He did it. He did this. He said that. You look like an idiot. Mullen. He's an idiot. He's a moron.
Absolutely, because this is my question. Because you called me out. I didn't call you out.
Yeah, you did.
You said anytime, any place.
That's
what you said.
let's get the
You
record
said
straight.
Let's hold it.
anytime,
No.
any
Hold on.
place.
Senator Mullen, do you have a question for the witness?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think that's what
let's
I'm getting
hear it.
So, anytime, any place.
No, that's
April.
That's not a
April
question,
Is a
asshole.
charity event.
No, that's
or-
not. That's not. No.
No, it's a he.
No.
Nope.
Sir,
We-
he said it, and this is. My
He is
time,
here to
and you
tell-
can set
no.
parameters on what the questions can or cannot be asked, and I'll ask.
No,
those
you're not going to.
questions.
We're not going to be talking about
yes, we
physical
can.
confrontation.
Oh, this is about charity for a union charity because this
This
is for firefighters. And
Do you have a
policemen.
question?
You
on his
believe
testimony?
this?
April,
Grow up.
April
Will you
next
please
You have
grow
a
up? You're an
question
embarrassment.
on his. Let's not
You
be.
said it.
You're an
You
embarrassment.
said
You're
it,
an
and I'm just
embarrassment.
simply answering it.
You
Senator
reached
Mullen,
out
go
to
hold
your
it.
buddies.
Hold it.
You
Senator
said
Mullen,
it.
you made some charges.
Charges.
Mr. O'Brien, do you want to respond to
Yeah, go
the
ahead,
question?
please.
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality of it is, you
Accept
know,
my challenge,
Mr.
tough guy.
Mullen, tough guy.
Answer. Hold it. Answer the questions.
All right, y'all won. He
Please.
made a lot of statements, right? And his statements are fiction at best.
Fiction. I read them.
Can he answer?
What?
Answer the question, please.
I can't understand him, to be honest with you. He rambles so much. What
I
was your
love the
question,
guy
actually?
sitting behind him, laughing.
Well, you said I made a lot of statements.
No, but what's your question? I don't understand your question. Could you repeat it?
You said anytime, any place.
What's your question?
Accept the challenge.
What challenge?
You said anytime, any place. I'm accepting yours, so
Oh
why don't
my
you
What
come back?
challenge? What
God,
challenge are you
what
talking
a
April
about?
30th.
fool.
How about we do it for charity at the
Charity?
Smoking Guns in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
What-
We're not going to be
what was the
talking about
challenge?
physical
What are you talking about?
confrontations here.
You want to fight me?
What'd you say by anytime, any place?
Let's have coffee, discuss our differences. Yeah, that's right, exactly.
All right, well, let's sit down and have coffee.
Let's
I'd
do
love
it.
to.
I'd love to.
But
do it.
It's
the
funny how you're backing out.
okay.
I don't back on anything.
I'm backing out.
You're
Oh,
the
you're
one.
backing
You're
out.
100.
Senator-
Should be the most influential people in this country making changes.
Senator
You're
Hassan-
focused on.
Okay.
You're
Thank
focused
you.
on
Why did
debate
you-
that's not
why
even
did you
relevant.
keep texting
You're
me
an
and then
embarrassment.
silence?
You're an
Excuse me.
embarrassment.
Well,
They went
look,
silence after
You're an
after
embarrassment to the
five
state of
this
Oklahoma.
hearing is about the condition of the working class in America.
You
That's
brought a
what we're
thug
talking.
into this-
You're the biggest thug here.
You
brought-
bought a
you brought him
thug.
in.
All right,
You're the
being-
biggest thug. Even
Look,
your
I don't know
colleagues call you
why
a
you do
joke.
what you're doing, Senator Hassan.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Senator
Chair.
Hassan, you got a
Senator
question?
Mullen, please yield. I've been.
He said you brought a thug in here. Who's asking for a fight? Who's the one standing up and taking off his rings? They're such embarrassments. They don't know when to stop. That's the problem, and it's the reason I played it the whole thing is, it's case in point. They can't control themselves, and they don't understand how stupid they are. They have no ability to look at themselves and be like, no, this is not a good idea. I'm a grown-ass man in a grown-ass job. I've been elected by the people of, I mean, obviously he's from Oklahoma. I don't know. Maybe they clearly have low standards there. Not everybody's a moron there, though. And if you voted for him, you should be embarrassed. I'm sorry. Shame on you. Really, shame on you. Look what you did. Look what you sent to Congress. Look what you sent to the Senate. What a joke. Don't you have any dignity for yourself? I wouldn't send him to pick up my goddamn lunch, this guy. He's ridiculous. He's a fool. He's a joke. Pointing. He said it. You said it. I'm here just taking your challenge. You brought a thug in here. Yeah, this is what he said. I mean, he can't think I'm a fool. Like, he can't just think, wait a minute, wait, stop. I gotta stop this. It is not looking good. I look like an idiot. But he goes on. Let's see. What is this? Somebody just posted this.
People tell me all the time, is this incumbent of a United States Senator? And I remind people, I'm a guy from Oklahoma first, and there's consequences for doing some of this. I wasn't mad, first of all. So when you get mad, you get angry, you lose your mind. First thing I thought of when I stood up, I thought, I'm going to break my hand on this guy's face. I'm going to take my wedding ring off. Because when you're fighting, you learn how to punch correctly. You really shouldn't break your hand, but when you aren't doing it with raps.
So you actually thought you were going to come to blows in that moment?
I had full intentions of doing that, absolutely.
What a dumb,
People tell me all
dumb embarrassment. Another reason why he should resign. He had full intentions of coming to blows in the middle of the Senate. Oh, well, you gotta, I'm a man from Oklahoma first. And the people of Oklahoma should be embarrassed. I'm a man from Oklahoma. I don't know how to control myself first. I'm not a grown-ass man. I'm a man from Oklahoma. I'm a man-child. I'm not a grown-ass senator. I'm a grown-ass man from Oklahoma, which is a man-child. Really. And the first thing we know is we take off our rings so you can hit somebody. Right. I had full intentions of hitting him in the face. Because, we learn how to hit right. We don't learn how to act right. We learn how to hit right. Because that's what matters here. That's who Republicans are. They're violent. That's why they like fascism, because they can't function in democracy. I mean, I wish they would stop proving me right. A bunch of thugs. A bunch of goons. A bunch of fools. A bunch of morons. I mean, every day it's another show that they should be embarrassed about. And then the same day, I'm sure you saw how Kevin McCarthy went behind one of these other fascists and punched him in the kidney. Because he's pissed. Because, he's upset. He's a baby. It's a schoolyard. The goddamn Congress of the United States is like a schoolyard now. You got these Republican dumb traitors like Perjury Traitor Green and Lauren Bam for the Bowling Alley Bobert screaming at each other in the halls, screaming at each other in the bathrooms, calling themselves little bitches on the floor of the House. And, of course, stalking AOC, which is what Perjury Traitor Green does all the time, because she wishes she was AOC, but she's not smart. She's not doing anything for anybody else but herself. She is an embarrassment, but she's fits right in with the Republicans. And they've turned the Senate into a shit show. They don't govern. They don't want to govern. This is what they do. And then they go on their podcasts. So that's, where is it? Let me see. It's just a joke. Where is it? Let me see. Oh, here it is. So Tim Burchett was speaking, and he's one of the fascists. He's one of the traitors, the maggots, who voted to oust little Kevin. And so Kevin's upset because it was his dream to be the speaker. He didn't want to be oh, look at Booty. He didn't want to be the actual Speaker of the House. He wanted to have the little gavel, and, he didn't want to protect democracy. He went down to Maramoron the couple of days after the traitor sent a mob to defecate in the halls and try to hang the vice president, and, try to kill cops, killed the cop, and wounded plenty of others, and, crushed people in the halls, showed up with cattle prods, zip ties, as you do during a peaceful protest. I don't know about you. I've been to a lot of protests. I've never brought a cattle prod. And of course there were the others with their assault weapons that Trump wanted to take the magnetometers down so they could get in real close. Who cares, magnetometers? They're not here for me. I don't care who they shoot. Shoot it up, bitch. Shoot the whole fucking Senate down. Shoot them down. Then I'll have to declare an emergency and I'll stay in power. As we know, by the tapes coming out, it's going to be pretty good when the trial happens, when Traitor Trump ends up in jail. I can't wait. It's going to happen. But Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis are saying that, they knew he was going to stay in power. They don't care. These people all need to die in prison. But, okay. In the meantime, little Kevin McCarthy, who is a coward, he is a traitor, he is unfit, he is a sociopath, a narcissist, no doubt. The way he talks, the way he pretends to have emotion, there's something wrong with that. And when you, as Candace DeLong, former FBI profiler, says, you got to listen to your gut. When you encounter a sociopath, there's something that says something not right here. And that's the feeling I get with Kevin McCarthy, because he doesn't have actual feelings. When he's like, his voice, he tries to get very emotional. It's like he saw it. He saw other people once in a movie get emotional, and he's mimicking it. Anyway, that's what it reminds me of. And so Tim Burchett was being interviewed, unfortunately not on camera, and that's probably why little Kevin, the former weaker speaker, they're all weaker speakers when it's Republicans, but that's probably why Kevin did what he did, because there wasn't a camera. He was being interviewed on audio, and he went behind the guy and punched him in the kidney. And here's Tim Burchett telling this to the CNN
Explain
reporter.
To us what happened with you and Kevin McCarthy.
Well, I was doing an interview with Claudia from NPR, a lovely lady, and she was asking me a question. And at that time, I got elbowed in the back, and it kind of caught me off guard because it was a clean shot to the kidneys. And I turned back, and there was Kevin.
Can you believe this?
And I for a minute, I was kind of, what the heck just happened? And then I chased after him. Of course, he's as I've stated many times, he's a bully with $17 million in a security detail. He's the type of guy that when you're a kid, would throw a rock over the fence and run home and hide behind his mama's skirt. And he just, you know,
You believe that? Even
from behind, that kind of stuff.
the example he gives, they're so childish. He's a little kid who throws a rock and hides behind his mother's skirt. They all are. You are. Tim Burchett? Oh no, he's a tough guy. He's talking real like, you know, he's got that southern homey, down home way of talking. Like a real man. Like an American.
You know, that's not the way we handle things in East
Like a
Tennessee.
traitor.
If we have a problem with somebody, I'm going to look them in the eye and talk
Look
to
him
them.
in
so
the
he
eye.
walked down the hallway,
Challenge him
hit
to a
you
duel.
with his elbow.
Yeah,
Challenge him
you
to a
can go on
cage
Claudia's
fight.
Twitter account, it pretty much, or X account,
Right.
it's
X.
very active.
Fuck
Okay, so
off.
then just explain. So you chased him? What do you mean you
Well,
chased him?
I just ran after him. I was like, what the heck? You know, why'd you do that? You know, because it was, like I said, if you've ever been hit in the kidneys, it's a little different. You don't have to hit very hard to cause a little bit of pain, a lot of pain. And so
What an
he just,
embarrassment.
of course, as he always does,
No booty.
he just denies it or blames somebody else or something, you know, and it was just a little heated, but I just
That's
backed
a-
off
well,
because
they all do
I
that.
saw no reason. I wasn't gaining anything from it, and
Wait,
then
so-
everybody saw it, so it didn't really matter.
Like he responded to you?
Yeah, he just acted like, you know, what are you talking about? You know, who are you? To, you know, that kind of thing, and it's just, you know, I think that's symptomatic of the problems that he's had in his.
It's not
short
just
tenure
him, it's
as
all of
Speaker.
you.
And were you face to face when you had this interaction?
Yeah, but there's security
They're
detail,
liars.
and I get it. They
They're
were doing their
cowards.
job, so it wasn't exactly like he wouldn't turn around and face me. He kept scurrying and trying to keep people between me and him.
And then
So they asked Kevin McCarthy about it, and of course he
The
lied.
reporter was interviewing Burchett or something. I guess our shoulders hit because Burchett runs
Our
up to me after. I didn't know
shoulders.
what he was talking about. Some reporters asked me. I did not run and hit the guy. I did not kidney punch him. I did not shoot anything like that.
You didn't shove him.
No.
He's full of shit. Of course he did it. I'm choking. Sorry. Of course he did it. He did it. And the woman who was interviewing that the other dummy, she went in, you know, she wrote all about it on her Twitter account, saying, yeah, I saw it. I mean, that's what he did. And I mean, aren't they embarrassed for themselves? No, they're not. Of course he he acts like, oh, I never did that. If you're going to behave like that, Kevin, just own it. You know, they're just so unfit. They're so not normal. They need to grow up. They need to stop. And that's the problem. They don't stop because they're insane. They don't know their limitations. Like the insane. People who are actually insane don't know their limitations. You know, you think you can fly. I'm Superman. You know, they jump out the window. Yes, no Poppy tonight. I forgot to talk to her. Is she in the chat room? I'll see if I can get her for tomorrow. And plus, whatever. I'm tired. I didn't know how long I was going to do the show for. Look at me. I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm very tired. I feel kind of sick. I hope I'm not. Maybe I got COVID. Again. Yeah, who, me? I mean, come on. Coward. Just own it. Be like, yeah, I need help. I'm upset. The guy pissed me off. I couldn't control myself. Of course, they would never. But the fact that you act like that, why don't you resign, Kevin? No, of course, they don't want to resign because they need their cushy, phony, baloney jobs. They like their universal health care, their lifetime health care. They like that. They vote that for themselves. They like the pension they're going to get, even though we don't get pensions. You know, Republicans destroyed pensions in this country and replaced it with 401ks. You know, replaced it with gambling on the stock market. You better hope that when you retire, the stock market's on an up and not a down. You know, all of them, grifters, you know, these Wall Street banksters hadn't somehow gamed the system and fled with your retirement. You just got to be lucky. And if you don't, you know, you're just shit out of luck. Thank God you got Socialist Security. Thank you, FDR. Thank you, Democrats. Even though Republicans are trying to come for that too. They always have, always will. They will never stop trying to kill the American people by hook or by crook. One way as good as another. They'll have, you know, 1 million dead. They like that. They want more of that. Could you imagine if a Democrat left office with 1 million Americans in the ground? 1 million Americans premature dead in the ground, mass graves across the country. And could you imagine? That's another thing. Why the Democrats drive me insane. Why are you not talking about that? They want to put a guy back in the White House. Not only wants to destroy democracy, but left office. He slunk out of office despite himself because he wanted to stay. As we know, they were going to stay no matter what. And even though he lost the first time too. That's why I can imagine why he was confused. But his heroes are the likes of Kim Jong-un and Putin, you know. So, of course, that's what he wants to do here. But anyway, but why the Democrats don't bring it up? He left office with over 1 million Americans dead. And if you want to compare, we're leagues ahead of every other country. You know, not just if you go by population, if we had remained on par with other democracies, other developed nations, we would have lost. Let me look this up, for example, because in my mind, I'm thinking of the number, but I don't want to just. I'm in my. Let me see if I'm right. I think it would have been. I think it would have been like 400,000 dead. Let's see. If USA kept. Let me see. How do you put this question? During the, or let's see, how do you, somebody help me out here. I got brain fog. Let's see, if USA had kept on par with other developed nations, how many Americans would have died in the pandemic? How many did die I think it's, it's more than 1 million in the pandemic. Okay. Do. It's thinking, all right. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. United States has experienced a higher COVID-19 death rate compared to other wealthy nations. As of now. No. This can't be. USA is closing in on 900,000? No. It's more than that. We passed 1 million a long time ago. This is the AI. Sometimes it's not accurate. You got to be careful. Let me see if he or she is pulling that number. Oh, this is an old article. That's why. You see what I'm saying? You got to be careful. Well, I told you stories about it. It lies too. It lies to you sometimes, but you got to really double check it. The U.S. has the highest cumulative COVID-19 death per capita among large high-income countries, with 200 deaths per 100,000. In 2020, the U.S. had the highest premature excess mortality rate among similarly large and wealthy nations, indicating that younger people in the U.S. were more likely to have died to the pandemic than younger people in other countries. That's because the assholes weren't getting vaccinated. U.S. has experienced a significant increase in the excess deaths compared to other similar high-income countries, with nearly 85% jumps in excess death. Oh, God. It is difficult to estimate exactly how many Americans who would have died in the pandemic if the U.S. had kept pace with other nations. However, the data clearly indicates that the U.S. has experienced a disproportionately high number of COVID-19 deaths compared to other wealthy nations. This suggests that the U.S., if the U.S. had been able to achieve a lower death rate than, where am I? A lower death rate comparable to other developed nations, the number of Americans who would have died due to the pandemic, well, it just says would have been significantly lower. Come on, give me a number. Well, anyway, because I remember reading that number somewhere, saying it would, if we had kept pace, if, let's say, I think it was Australia. I don't know, whatever. The point is, a lot of people died needlessly. That is the Republican way. There will be needless death. Right? Needless death. They're not happy. These right-wingers, they're just not happy unless Americans are needlessly dying. All right. In the interest of my... Oh, look who's up. Uh-oh. In the interest of... What time is it? 8:39. What time did I start the show? Oh. Let's do the George Santos story, and then the others we could do tomorrow. I'm sure more shit's going to happen in between, but I want to... I mean, George Santos is a traitor. Well, he's a traitor, and he's a grifter. Another Republican caught in the act of being himself, a useless traitor and grifter who squatted in his so-called representative role for the sole purpose of stealing money from the idiots stupid enough to send money to him. I mean, if you're that dumb to send money to George Santos, I feel very sorry for you. And you need to look at yourself. Here comes another ad. What the ads will start playing for some viewers, it says. See, I'm going to stop it. I have the power to skip it, it says. I don't want to do that to you. I just don't want to do it to you. I have to figure out what happened. What? YouTube must have changed something, because that's new. But thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Oh, hi, Tara. Oh, shit, here he comes. Here he comes. Come on. You gonna jump up or not? Oh, I don't know what to do. You gotta meet me halfway. If you want to come up. Come up, then. Come on. Come on. here we come. All right, you could sit. If you sit, you just got to sit there. Don't bother me. All right. We're talking about George Santos now. Okay? Just sit there. I know, I should do that. I'm afraid the camera's gonna unplug. Let's see. All right. Just sit there. Sit. So people can see you. All right. Let's see. I got my emotional support animal here. Let's talk about George Santos. Okay. As we know, you know what came to my mind when it all came out? The ethics report came out, and George Santos announced he will not seek re-election, even though he said he was going to seek re-election and he will not resign. But initially, if you remember, then when he was first elected, on his litany of lies, on his entire fabricated resume and origin story, entirely fabricated from everything from A to Z. He said when it all came out, he said at the time that he would not seek re-election, but then he went back on his promise, as all Republicans do. Because he saw that money, that he wants that money. That's all that matters. And George Santos, we're talking about sociopaths. There have been studies, of course, as we know, there are a lot of sociopaths in the higher echelon. What's the word? In the executive offices of corporate America. A lot of CEOs are psychopaths and sociopaths, and because they don't give a shit about anybody else but themselves, and they think that, of course, Trump is a sociopath, and George Santos is a sociopath. And in fact, that is, I would bet money on it, because he's a con man, and con men are 100%. It's not an outlier. Con men who are legit con men, not just somebody who tells a little white lie. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that, like, someone gives you the wrong change at a store. I don't know about you, but I don't keep it, because I feel like it's bad karma, and also I don't want to put them in a bad spot. But some people do, but that's, probably the lowest. I don't know. You don't necessarily have to be a sociopath to do that, some people do things like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But to make a living out of being a sociopath, and out of being a grifter and a liar and stealing checks from your mother's employer and killing a veteran service dog, right? Being kicked off of GoFundMe. That's what he was. He couldn't make any more accounts on GoFundMe because GoFundMe had caught on to his scams. And in order to be a con man who kills a dog, who takes the money for a veteran's service dog to have an operation and takes that money. And then, of course, when he's caught, he lies about it. But, GoFundMe has heard it before, and they barred him from making any accounts. And you got to really work hard to be that much of a scumbag. And what else did he do? There's such a long list. Everything. His entire story about going to school. I doubt he even graduated from high school. And to be able to lie as easily as breathe, that's him. He lies so quickly. He lies so easily. And he will say anything too. All right, get down. He's pulling on my headset. And you really got to be. He's getting mad now. He's getting mad at Booty. I'm sorry. People don't like that. All right, enough. I can't help it. There are cats in this Tarabuster studios. But, okay. But it all came out. And to also, be such a scumbag to not have the shame to resign when you're called out, when you're found out. To not have shame. To show up at work to show up in Congress when the people of your district are picketing outside your office. To be a pariah. You got to work really hard to be a pariah in the Republican Party. And that's what he was. His local Republican Party didn't want anything to do with him. But George Santos is such a special kind of sociopath. And I found this clip of him when he was running for office. I don't know if you've seen this. And, of course, being a Republican, you have to be self-loathing. And George Santos is gay, or at least he says he is. We've never seen his husband. He was married to a woman. That's beside the point, because he committed immigration fraud. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't know if this ethics complaint says anything about that. Probably not. But that needs to be explored by some intrepid journalist. But he is there's no doubt in my mind his wife was a scam. That's a scam. Somehow he benefited from committing immigration fraud. But the other thing is he claims to have a husband, and I guess his name is George Glass, right? For those who are old enough to remember the Brady Bunch, when Jan Brady's boyfriend, Jan said she had a boyfriend because she was feeling pressure to have a boyfriend. I don't remember the whole story. And they asked her what his name was, and there was a glass sitting on the table. He's George Glass. So, who is he? No one's ever seen him. Any of the court appearances, you don't see him. He doesn't show up to support him. Anytime George Santos goes out, and that's another thing, because George Santos is a sociopath, and he needs that narcissistic supply, too. He's a narcissist. That's another thing. He's a very sick person. And so he likes going out. He is known for going to like karaoke joints in Washington to be seen. But he's never with his husband, his so-called husband. He's full of shit. He's got no husband. Come on. Right? I don't understand. It's like the corporate media never asking a follow-up question like, well, what's too far left? Give me an example. They never ask George Santos. They never do any journalism, investigative reporting. They just take this grifter, this liar, this pathological liar at face value. Oh yes, he's married. He's married to some dude that we never met. We don't know him. We don't know his name. We don't know. There's no record of him. There's no pictures of him. You go on his social media, there's no pictures of him. There's nothing. There's no pictures of him. Come on. Yes, thank you, Twisted Nerves Painting, saying that the cats are part of the show. You're welcome. Well, some people, I just think, I have received complaints. I'm recognizing them. I want to say, I hear you. Those who don't like the cats interrupting the show. That's not that they don't like the cats. They just don't like the interruptions. But I'm sorry. This is Tarabuster Studios. It's my apartment. And I don't have a lot of room here. I live in a 1-bedroom, and sometimes it's tough. All right. Well, here's George Santos saying anything to endear himself to the horrible people who will vote for him.
Well, look at it this way, John. The family unit's been under attack for decades.
Yeah.
Look, in different ways, right? In different ways. The flavor of the decade is same-sex couples. Oh, that's so okay. It's look, to each their own. I don't have anything against that, but they're teaching in school kids, that you don't need a mommy and a daddy. You can have two mommies. You can have two daddies. I think that's a little much for kids, right?
And it's not their place.
And that's an attack on the family unit in the sense where they're just making excuses and reasoning to explain to kids why there's only one mommy or why there's only daddy, and there's no other person. That it's okay to be like that.
Can you believe this? It's shocking to me how horrible these people are. What they will say. It's like Jews for Hitler. It's like the Jews who voted for Hitler. And there were Jewish people who voted for Hitler because they wanted the economy. They thought he would stabilize the economy. Wait a minute. I gotta fix the camera. And this guy he's on the show. He's not pretending to not be gay. He's just saying that he hates gays, just like the rest of the Republican Party. And, it's too much for kids. It's all about the kids. But this is how disgusting Republicans are. They will take all the benefit of the progress that liberals, that progressives, that normal people blaze a trail. They fight, they bleed, they die for this progress, for freedom. So somebody like George Santos can pretend to have a husband. He can pretend. He could say he's gay. He's gay. Well, I guess he is. But he'll just jump right on that bandwagon, kicking down on the other gays. He'd sell out his own mother, and he did. This is a guy who stole checks from his mother's employer. This is a guy who lied about his mother's death. This is the scum of the earth.
You're a unique type family. I want to go back in time and think, why would it be bad for minorities in general? And that includes me, right? But why would it be bad for us to have a mom, a dad in the same household, your little brothers and sisters, And
nobody says it's bad. But we're saying that there are families come in all types. And what matters is a child loved, you self-loathing, scum-sucking, grifting prick. He would sell out his own mother, and he does. And he did. He is disgusting. And, what minorities? And that includes me. we hate it. There has to be a certain level of self-loathing. That all minorities in the Republican Party have to possess in order to be a Republican. It's like Uncle Tim Scott saying that America is not a racist nation. No, and what they're talking about is people. America's not a racist nation. You know, they're what they mean, because they will never criticize the system. You know, but that's a whole other story. Uncle Tim is a human shield, just like this son of a bitch, and he's happy. He's happy to be one. He's like, I want to be a human shield because I will say anything. I will do anything. I will pretend to be anything in order to get my lamprey parasite mouth around some of that fat political money that he was successful. You know, and these idiots who vote for him. You know, we're in the ethics report, which I'll go through in a minute, but they go, you know, talk about how he used his, the money that people gave him it went right into his personal account. He used it to pay rent. He went to casinos. He, of course, just like we talked about, he got Botox. And you could see it every time he showed up in Congress. His lips, his stupid duck lips, his basic bitch duck lips got bigger and bigger. He looked like a basic dumb bastard with duck lips. And every sucker, every Republican sucker that sent that idiot, that grifter, $5 because they hate America. They hate black people, brown people, gay people, trans people. They hate difference. They need their strong daddy who's a weak-ass bitch, the fragile little grifter himself who's too busy going after Kim Kardashian because she said something mean about him. Than he is, you know, he's too busy putting 1 million Americans in the ground through incompetence, and they want more of that. So they send the likes of George Santos $5, and he put it right in his lips, right? You know, he jerked off to some whoever on OnlyFans. That's what he used. I mean, he bought pornography, which is another sign of a sociopath, by the way. Not that, you know, normal people don't.
I keep thinking.
Don't,
because then that's
you know, indulge in pornography. I'm just saying because he's just he's like a walking need, just like the con man, like his hero Trump. He just needs, and he just needs constant stimulation, and because he's got no feelings, no real feelings, so he has to be. He needs to have his lips Botox because he needs people to say like, "Oh, look at your lips; they look great." He needs constant narcissistic supply. He needs constant stimulation. He's got to go to the casino. He needs. To pay, you know, he needs a lot of shit. He needs a lot of designer shit. Because he's a vapid, vacant hole of nothing. He's just like his hero.
Creates stability. And stability raises good individuals who are independent thinkers.
Yes.
And you have instability in the family unit, you reap havoc. One parent can't parent two kids as well as two parents. And there's always that feminine touch to boys from the mother and that masculine touch to boys from the father. Same thing goes for the daughters, and it creates equilibrium and balance.
Yes.
Scales are tipped and there's nobody left there, and you have just one-sided, you start creating troubled individuals. Troubled individuals are easier to
like you
manipulate and indoctrinate, and they buy pretty much anything and drink any Kool-Aid you give them. So that's what...
Can you? I can't. I just can't with this guy. I mean, how stupid do you have to be to vote for somebody like that? He's just regurgitating a lot of what? Oh yeah, balance. You need that feminine touch. This his voice really irritates me too. He's got that like Long Island accent, which is like the Staten Island accent. You got that feminine touch, and you got that masculine touch, and you need it. You know, you got to have a balance. Because I don't know where I'm getting my degree in balance from, because I barely got out of fucking Brazil before they locked me up. But the guy's like, yeah, you're right. You gotta have balance. Like your balls, you gotta balance. Unreal. Jesus Christ.
Destroying the family unit has given the ability to eliminate any demand. We'll give you more money if you have no father. Each child will be worth more money.
Who fucking says this? You say it's like the fevered dream of a bunch of goddamn morons and grifters who, it's the grifters and the morons who believe in the grifters. It's like, we'll give you more money. Yeah, so people are like, oh yeah, let's give everybody more money because we want to eliminate fathers. Good idea. High five. Get the fuck out of here. These people, I can't take them. And then they're like, oh yeah, here you go, George. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Here's my credit card. You stupid. You deserve it. You deserve to be grifted from. By the likes of him? That's how stupid you are. You fall for that. They're like, oh yeah, here, George. He said he hates gays just like me, and he's gay. So that means I'm not homophobic. I'm just keeping it real. That's what they think. See, I'm not racist. Look at Tim Scott. He's my human shield. He's keeping it real like me. I'm just keeping it real, and it's real. And what's real is that, gays are destroying the family, and fathers are being picked on, and that's why it's cuckoo land now. We don't have nothing here. Everything sucks. Because then you got some people who want to be gay then, and that's just bad. And everyone, we need balance. You got to have a man, you got to have a woman, and then everything's going to be fucking great. Just like, here, George. Take my credit card. You're just as stupid as I am. Here you go, George. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Don't worry. Take it to the casino. Get your lips done, George. Just don't kill my dog. Yeah. You gotta have balance. Shut up. Where did he get that accent from? Wasn't he from Brazil? Oh, I guess because he's from New York District 3.
If you have no father in the house.
If you have no father in the house, it's all going to go cuckoo. That's why Republicans they like hierarchy.
The ability to eliminate any demand.
You need a man. I need a man because I need a man to play my husband. I've been telling everybody I have a husband because I want them to think that, they got their Uncle Tim, their Uncle Clarence, and now they need me, Uncle George, Uncle Katara as the human shield for their homophobia and their hatred. Soon they'll have, what's her face? The trans one. I was going to, the Kardashian trans? Caitlyn Jenner, yes, but they don't call her Caitlyn. They call her Bruce. Because, you need a man. They have no she says that means that we don't hate trans people. We got one. We got a trans one. That's what they got, a big tent in the Republican Party. They got it all there. They got N-words, they got F-words, they got all kinds of, they got all the slurs. They got them all in their big tent.
Money if you have no father. Each child will
Look at
be
this
worth-
guy, and he's just feeding him. He's just feeding him, right? He's feeding him. It's like the guy regurgitated, this bald dude, regurgitated all this bullshit, and George Santos, the grifter, that's what grifters do, by the way, and con men. They fulfill your fantasies. They're very good at, at mimicking and, of course, playing a part. So he is just feeding this guy everything that he thinks. He knows what he thinks, so he's just feeding it right back to him. And the guy's like, wow, you're a genius, George. And that means I'm not a homophobe. Because you're gay, and you get it. You get it, George. You hate yourself, just like I hate you. I hate gays, and you hate gays, so it's cool. You get it.
more money if you have no father in the house. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's where we stand.
Yeah.
See? Look at my face. I did it. Me, all by myself. I said it. I said these things. Give me money. This is me. I look at my lips. See how thin they are? They gotta get duck-like. Then I'll be a real man. Maybe I can actually find somebody to be my husband that I've been talking about. Nobody asked me about it though, so I'll just keep going, rolling on. And when they do ask him about his husband, his so-called husband, nobody asked him though. I have heard like somebody, have I heard this? Or maybe it was me. No, he says, I won't ever say because I don't want him to be attacked, because everybody's attacking him. They're picking on him, They're picking on him, the poor guy. He's such a poor guy, like Trump. Everyone is picking on him. Why don't we just let him steal and rob and lie and take our money for whatever he wants? However he can fill that gaping black hole of need and greed, like his hero. And he didn't waste any time when the ethics report came out, and he wasted no time going on his tacky social media, well, on Twitter, and complaining that he's being picked on. He's run the Trump playbook. Everybody's picking on you. It's a witch hunt. You're a victim. You're a victim. Oh, okay. You're a victim. I know. Look at that face. That very punchable, legally and peacefully punchable face. He changed his Twitter account. He had 2 Twitters. One of them was his New York 3 Twitter account. Rep Santos, New York 3. The other one is Mr. Santos, New York. Fuck off. We don't want you. What did he say here? My year from hell. He writes, this is 44 minutes ago as we were doing the show. Running for office was never a dream or a goal. My year from hell. Oh my God. You got no shame. No shame. My year from hell. You're a liar. You're a grifter. You're a self-loathing grifter who will say and do and lie and kill dogs for money. Money. I need money. I need to make my lips big. I gotta kill your dog. Sorry. I need to make my lips big. What do you need me to say? That gays are want to get rid of the father? The family? Destroying the family? Okay. Well, I'll say anything. I'll tell you my mother was a 2-bit whore if you'll give me your credit card number. She died in the towers. She died in the Hindenburg. She stormed the beaches of Normandy. She was only one. She was a female. Yeah, she dressed up. She didn't need to even enlist. She just went. She took a boat. She took a rowboat. You know? She thought she'd get in there, sneak attack. They won't expect a rowboat, a woman in a dress, to be rowing up on these machine guns on the beach. She thought she'd get there first, and she did. And she went up. She snuck up to the where all the Germans were, and she had a cake though. She tricked them. She was like, Guten Tag. And they were like, jawohl, what, was ist los? And she was like, I got a cake here. Can't we all get along? And they were like, good point. And they ate the cake. And as they ate the cake, she threw a claymore in there, even though claymores weren't invented for like 40 years. And everything went, pow, pow. And then the men I think it wasn't Omaha, it was the other beach where there was no resistance. One beach, was like hell on earth. Another beach, they just waltzed right up. That was because it was George Santos's mother. No one knows that, but because that was classified for 75 years. And it only came out when Trump, Donald J. Trump, the J is for Jesus, when he went to Normandy and he went into a cave where there was a statue. It was really weird, and he was like, he had to balance it out. He took a bag of sand and he tried to balance it, and then he thought he had it just right. He took this totem, and when he was walking away, he didn't even realize the lever started going down, and he was like, "Oh my God, I triggered the trap." And a big boulder came down, and he was like running, and he jumped out of the cave, and when he opened up this totem that he had risked his life to retrieve from, the only reason he knew about it was because my grandfather told him, and He learned it from one of the dying Germans, and he only learned it because my mother told him. Are you following this? Well, he whispered that one of the dying Germans whispered in his ear about it and said, because he couldn't hold it, because he knew it was. He saw the light, so he was like, I'm going into the light. I need to share this with somebody. And he told him. And then I learned this story because Donald J. Trump, while he was at the commemoration, the 75th anniversary, where he, that whole thing when he was like Nervous Nancy and then just making a fool out of himself in front of all of the headstones. That was all by design. He did that on purpose. It's like he's playing 5-dimensional chess. He's acting like a fucking asshole. He's not really, though. He's really a super genius and almost like a superhero. / Indiana Jones. So that's my mother, and and I was proud to represent her in the halls of Congress, where I wanted to tell everybody to hate themselves as much as to hate gays, right? Just to hate gays, because that's how we make America great again. Hate gays, hate trans people, hate black people, hate brown people, hate immigrants, hate the asylum seekers, hate anybody that's not white and rich. We love the rich, don't we? Don't we love the rich? We love them. Great people, the rich. Great people. They're really great. Really great. Don't we love them? Like nobody's ever seen. So, here's George Santos. Where is it? My year from hell. Running for office was never a dream or a goal. But when the opportunity to do so came, like my husband on our blissful wedding night, where we consummated our marriage, even though it's between a man and a woman. And, kids, they would never understand otherwise, and I don't want to ruin the country, so I keep my husband locked in a house with no windows, running water, nothing. He can't look out. He doesn't care, though, because he supports me like a husband should. Right, Booty? Hey! Boudica! Get down. Looking back today, I know one thing. Politics is indeed dirty. Dirty, dirty from the bottom up. Consultants, operatives, the opposition, the party, and more. The one thing I never knew was that the process in Congress was dirty. Everything's dirty. Why don't they just let me take those credit cards and run them at the casino and leave me alone? Leave me alone to steal and kill your dogs. Why did you have to go looking into my history, my background, the bad checks in Brazil? Why? I will continue to fight for what I believe in, and by that I mean Botox and OnlyFans and lots of personal things like paying down my credit card debt from the Botox and the OnlyFans that I use credit cards for before I was able to grift this very lucrative phony baloney job in Congress, because Republicans are that stupid. I could never run as a Democrat, you see, because if I did, And it all came. First of all, I could be myself if I think I'm gay. I don't know. I keep marrying women for immigration purposes, but whatever. But I could have been myself, but there's no money in that. There's no money in that. There's no money in trying to make the world a better place. There's a lot of money in being a self-loathing gay in a party that hates gays. That's buku bucks, baby. I will continue to fight for what I believe in, and I will never back down. What do you believe in? What works today? What do you think people want to hear today? Yeah, that you're a volleyball star. That you have 2 knee replacements. Can you believe it? That's how dedicated I am to volleyball. 2 knee replacements. That's how dedicated he was, guys. Look at him. He's like the picture of athleticism. Except for those fucking knee replacements. And then that horrible brain tumor that happened. What I mean, can I get an amen? Can I get $1? I got a brain tumor. Anybody want to become a patron? I got a brain tumor. What the quote ethics committee? I'm surprised he didn't say the unethical committee. The de-ethics committee, the no ethics committee did today was not part of due process. What they did was poison to the jury pool. Oh, fuck you. I mean, get a new shtick, man. But why? Why would you, right? Why would you get a new shtick when the old shtick keeps working for these morons? They voted for him. He would never have made it in the Democratic Party. Just like Trump. He would never. That's why he had to run as a Republican. It's easy to trick these people. You just have to be stupid and horrible. And because what they do is hold a mirror up to them. That's all they do. They hold this mirror up to the average Joe Republican dupe. And they say, whatever they need to say. Everything's going to be great. You're going to have universal health care. It's going to be a great deal. And it'll never cost nothing. Nobody. It's going to be amazing. And the only reason you don't have it is because, those damn dirty brown people. Coming in here, taking. You notice Republicans, they understand this. They know that people want progressive policies. They understand that it works. It not only works, it works. It's effective. It makes a functioning society. Even the idiots who vote for George Santos know this. But they're racist. So they have to tickle those racist funny bones and get them to vote for their own demise, to stand in the way of anything that will actually allow them some freedom in this little blip of time that we have to share with the likes of George Santos. I don't know what we did in a past life to deserve it, but here we are. Oh my God. What the quote, ethics committee did today was not part of due process. What they did was poison the jury pool, just like Joe Biden is doing to our Lord and Savior Trump. And Joe Biden is doing nothing, unfortunately. He should come out and start saying these people are traitors. Trump is a danger. They all are a bunch of crooks. And their voters are stupid enough to vote for their own demise. This was a dirty, biased act, and one that tramples all over my rights. My right to steal from you. My right to have a duck lips on your dime. I don't have to pay for my own duck lips. You do. That's my God-given right as a Republican. Press conference November 30th at 8 a.m. on the Capitol steps. Because I need that narcissistic supply. I need those cameras looking at me. And I'm going to have a meltdown like I did when I ran into somebody who had a different point of view about Gaza. And I just screamed and yelled, and everybody looked at me they took the cameras. They were like, whew. Happy Thanksgiving. It will be happy because you're gonna end up in jail. Is this for real? We support you? That can't be. Is that real? Nah. Do the right thing and resign. Standing with you, George. Says Monica Matthews on air, president of Thirst Media, host, author, advisor. Of course you would stand with a con man. Because you're a bunch of dupes. Yeah, I can't wait to watch him get dragged off. He will resign unless, he'll be gone by Christmas. I don't know if he's going to resign. If he cuts some kind of deal with the prosecutors of the cases that he's, the criminal indictments he's under, one of the things he's going to offer them is his resignation. That's definitely on the table there. So, but he's a victim. That's who they are. They're victims. If only it's like Trump, if only we just let him steal the election. If only we let him lie and cheat on his taxes and steal from the people of New York. That's his right to be the biggest loser of the single biggest American taxpayer loser. That's who he was. He lost more money than every other single American on earth. And we had to pay him for that. He needed money from us. Another year, he paid $750 in federal taxes, when I'm sure you, me, all of us paid more. A lot more. We had to pay for him, you see. We had to pay for the parasites, like Trump, like George Santos. And then, so today, I remember when we watched that. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but remember when that I was telling you about this local news reporter here in New York, Monica, what's her last name now? I have it. Monica. What the hell? Oh, hold on a second. Monica Kramer. She's been in local news since TV was a test pattern, really. So, but she interviewed George Santos for an hour. She disgraced New York. She disgraced the Fourth Estate, the entire profession of journalism, and she gave that grifter an hour on local news and actually talk to him as if he's a real congressman, asking him legitimate questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about, peace in the Middle East? What do you think about the budgets and blah, blah, blah? And he, I mean, just talked a mile a minute and, of course, you know, bedazzled her with his fast-talking litany of lies and shit. But this is one of the segments that stuck out at me. Because we talked about it that time on the show, and because it really got under my skin. But here, in case you missed it, considering his the ethics complaint specifically mentions Botox.
Here's a great one. People like to make fun of me. Oh, he has fake lips. He has Botox. He has this. I'm like, well, at least I could afford it. Most people.
Do you got fake lips?
Oh, Marsha.
I mean, you brought it up.
Marsha, I wouldn't tell you that.
You wouldn't tell me that? Here we're having this wonderful conversation. You won't get after you brought it up?
I represent Long Island. I can't tell you these things. These are trade secrets.
So...
Oh, Marsha. Marsha, at least I can afford it. No, you can't. No, you can't, bitch. That's the people that you stole from. The dumbasses who sent you money paid for your stupid lips. I wish at least you are supported. I mean, at least I can afford it. What a piece of shit these people are. Collectively. At least I can afford it. No, you can't. These people, they're dirtbags. At least I can afford it. Can you imagine Bernie Sanders saying something like that? Of course, he would never get Botox, but in general, just saying, well, at least I can afford it. Who says things like that in a country where children go hungry? At least I can afford Botox on the Americans who are stupid enough to send me money. He knows he can't afford it, but it doesn't matter. He's a grifter. Like the rest of them. They're all grifters. That's why they have to put on a show for the dupes. You know, dinner and a show. But you don't get the dinner. But they certainly fuck you, that's for sure. They don't even buy you dinner first. They just fuck you over and give you a show. Ugh. They're vile. Absolutely vile people. At least I can afford it. And I guarantee that if he ran again, there would be people who vote for him again. Because, you know, they just hate. They hate that left-wing shit. They hate black people, brown people, gay people. And he hates everything they hate. So they'll vote for him. They'll slit their own throats. They'll give him more money to stick it to the libs. As long as somebody can't read a book, or a kid can't get gender-affirming care, or someone, you know, can be free in some form. It's free to be unique, different, to, you know, be a rugged individual. Be themselves, live an authentic life. Oh, no. You got to be like them. As dumb, horrible, ignorant, and if you are somebody if you're different, like George Santos, make sure you're sufficiently self-loathing. Jesus. Yeah. He violated federal law, House rules, standards of conduct. He had, according to the report, had a complex web of unlawful activity involving his campaign, personal and business finances. He sought to fraudulently exploit every aspect of his House candidacy for his personal financial profit. He was found to have violated federal criminal laws, including withholding of or falsifying information on statutorily required disclosures of his campaign and personal finances to the FEC. It was determined that Santos was a knowing and active participant in campaign finance violations, despite attempting to blame others for his misconduct. This is in the ethics report. Because, party of personal responsibility and all. The ISC unanimously recommended that the committee immediately refer the substantial evidence of potential violations of federal criminal law to the Department of Justice. Hurry up, right? Hurry up. God. Get these people out of here. Where is let's see. The Botox. He got Botox. Shameless. At least I can afford it. What else? Where is it? I'm looking at other articles. Stand your butt up. Oh, yes. He also, George Santos tonight, demanded that people rise up and overhaul the Constitution. What a joke. Like Trump, he wants to cancel the Constitution. He didn't go that far. He wants to overhaul it. Because they're not allowed to steal. Incredible. George Santos issued a scenery-chewing statement calling for a new U.S. Constitution after the House Ethics Committee issued a devastating report on him. The New York Republican announced that he would not seek re-election. Aw. That means he won't get health care for life, by the way, and he won't get a pension. They only have to serve 2 terms, and they get a lifetime pension. That's why he wanted to become a congressman. Do you understand that? He said that. He admitted this to his friends and the people that came out after the fact, saying that, the guy that he stole the scarf from, other people that he stiffed on the rent because he didn't pay rent and shit, while complaining that he had 15 properties that he couldn't get rent on because of the eviction moratorium in New York during the pandemic. This is how shameless they are. And so let's see. The 56-page report breaking down 23 felony charges against him, federal felony, including aggravated identity theft, wire fraud, credit card fraud, and conspiracy. Incredible. I am humbled yet again and reminded that I am human. I am human and I need to be loved. Poor guy, right? And I have flaws, like my lips, and they're too thin. But I will not stand by as I am stoned by those who have flaws. who have flaws themselves. Oh, he's getting deep. He's getting deep. Wow, we all have flaws. Truth. What is truth? Said Pontius Pilate. I will continue on my mission to serve my constituents, as I always have. When I took their money, cha-ching, cha-ching, at the casino. I will, however, not be seeking re-election. As my family, my fake husband, my dead mother who died on the beaches of Normandy. like every other member of my family did. Santos then endorsed a fringe idea that's been gaining traction in state legislatures to convene a new constitutional convention, which could radically alter the founding document through a process that political scientists say will likely favor conservative states. What else is new? I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. See, they hate America. They hate democracy. They can't take it. They can't steal. They can't steal elections. They can't steal money. They can't use their donors' money. Stupid enough people who are stupid enough to donate to them, they just can't go on OnlyFans and jerk off to somebody. They can't use it at the casino without getting some fed up their ass. God. It's a disgusting, politicized smear. Oh, please. It is our patriotic duty to stop these people and send them to jail. That shows the depths of how low our federal government has sunk. You see, it's not the states, go back to the states. Which they hate that too. If the states do anything to stop their grifting, and then the states better watch out too. So everyone who participated in this grave miscarriage of justice should be ashamed. Oh, bitch. Bitch, you tripping. Bitch, you're tripping. We, the people, desperately need an Article 5 constitutional convention. And if Trump read that sentence, he would say Article V, constitutional convention. We know that. We, the people, me, the person, more like it, bitch. We are quickly approaching $34 trillion in debt. Oh, tell me again. Tell me who, Biden's open borders. I hate these Republicans. The only one who wants an open border are these right-wingers. There's no open borders, by the way. But they like that because it makes, it's scary. It makes, they're coming. They're coming to get you. Oh, God. Biden is the head of a influence peddling crime family, and all the Congress wants to do is attack their political enemies. Yes, you're such a powerful political enemy. And then, of course, we go to the all caps. The time is now for the states to rise up and commence an Article 5, an Article V for victory constitutional convention. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Incredible. Wow, who is this person? Oh, some asshole, MAGA. Joseph Pino writes, Rep. Santos is a great patriot. He serves the people's interests well. We look forward to seeing more of his ideas and join his fight for a better future. Doesn't that sound like a bot to you? You realize that the Republicans, that Putin, of course, has unleashed, just like in 2016 and 2020, an army of bots all over Twitter, especially because there's absolutely no gatekeepers anymore. And and these idiots are stupid enough and easily led enough to fall for it. So, because, that's who they are. All right, it's time for me to go lay down. I need to get unconscious. I could go on all night about this, really. He makes it too easy. But remember, we have more to talk about. I had more on the list tonight to talk about. We'll talk about it tomorrow at our regular Friday evening get-together at the same place. I'll meet you here at the same place. YouTube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. We're also on other channels, Rokfin, APS Radio News. Thank you, Charlie, for hosting the show over there. And other places. You can listen audio only, all that stuff. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/Tara We have a bunch of amazing, great OG Tarabusters and wonderful people over at our YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing you every show, and there they are, and I love them. They keep me going. And we have fun. Friday's fun. And I'll see what Poppy's doing. Poppy Champlin, comedian extraordinaire. From Logo, from Oprah, from many places that you have heard of. Olivia Tours. I'll see what she's doing. We'll get her up in this bitch. For this bitch. And I just want to say, man, thanks for hanging out tonight. Look at my eyes. I'm like, they're very red. Uh-oh, here he comes. Here comes Tara Jr. All right, honey. Look at him. Look how cute he is. Look at everybody. You must have been a beautiful baby. I was there. He was. All right, guys. We will win. We will. Because hopefully I'll be alive to see it. Hopefully it happens soon. Because we're on the right side of history. Thank you. Thank you, Versus. Nice to see you there. Nice to see you. Hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you, Jim and Haiku, for being the moderators in the chat room. I really appreciate it. And we'll meet back here around 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time to keep going. And, we got more to talk about. There's so much more I had on the list, like of a bunch of traitors and Republicans being horrible and spreading conspiracy theories, being embarrassing, being stupid. I'm sorry. All right, guys. Remember, we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. Check out APS Radio News. Charlie, thank you so much for your support and your support of the community cats. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Look at Booty. She's cute.